Okay, so this is a quick introduction to objectives and key results. And the page you're looking at, if you look at the menu showing up above, it says me, all right? So I'm looking at my objectives. That's why it says my core, my meetings, my task, my objectives, all right? And when you look at my objectives, what it does is it breaks all the objectives, which you have to be listed as either a captain, a keeper, or a teammate in order for that objective to be considered one of your objectives. But if you are, then it first starts out with it separates them by the arena they are part of. And if you aren't familiar with what an arena is, there's a video in the Getting Started about the structure of Business Run Better. But the first arena is and should always be your personal arena, your personal life. And if you haven't got anything in there, that means you haven't created any objectives yet, which is fine. Okay. Now, on this is the my objectives one. So this is all my objectives for different companies or organizations or teams that I am a part of. All right. Now, if I go over a tab, then this is the now we're in the dashboard for a particular arena. Christian Teams Excel. It's one of my arenas. Now you'll notice the tabs no longer have my in front of it because it is for Christian Teams Excel. It's an arena dashboard. And this particular arena has one objective. Otherwise, it would list other ones down here. Now, on all these pages, it is um, off to the right. If there are these accordions, these are important things you can learn, ways you can learn about what we're talking about. But again, these are OKRs. Objectives and key results is the system that we're using. And I'll go over this in detail in just a second. I just wanted to show you where to find all these. Now, if I click on the title of a particular objective, it opens a new window. And now this is where you can really see how the objectives and key results work. This is going to be a little longer video because I'm going to explain a lot of these steps in some detail. But let's focus on the objective part. Okay, the first thing is the title, and it's the link that opened this window. Then to the every objective has a status, and most of them will be begun. But if I went in and I changed this status to critical, then instead of being gray, it would be pink or light red, showing that it's critical. The next thing off to the right, this section here, is about the how we're measuring results for that particular objective. It gives the first part is where that objective is the state that it's in. This is in a poor state, all right? And that's because of the total number of CETs. I know what that means. It stands for Christian Excellence Team, but it tells us where it's at. Now you see there's view KPIs. A KPI is a key performance indicator. An objective can have as many key performance indicators as it needs for its captain to know how it is performing. If you click on it, pop-up comes up and it will show you the key results, key performance indicators, and you can update them. And you'll see if you click that, this is the day the next update's due. It turns red when it's past due. And if I click it, it'll open another window which will show all of the things that can be updated on it. And you'll notice on here that the fields have these green question marks, so I'm not going to go into detail about what all this means because when you need to do it, you'll be able to figure it out just by hovering over the green question marks. Okay? But as I said, a KPI can have Uh, an objective can have as many KPIs as necessary, but I would definitely try to limit it. All right. Then the MIT. That is the most important thing that needs to be done, that accomplished in the next quarter. They're usually quarter. You wouldn't have to be, but it's wise to make it that. What needs to be accomplished in the next quarter for this objective? The most important thing. That's a key result. Okay. It's not just a task, it's a key result. The MIT status, that's how we think we're going to succeed, how well we're doing at accomplishing that by the end of the quarter. And then there's health reports. Now, this one does not have health reports, but health reports are something that are done on a regular basis. It depends upon the objective. Like if it's a financial objective, you may only update it, do a health report once a month when you get your new financial records updated. If it's something else, you may want to update it every week. Okay. Now, if here, this is the captain of the team. Well, now, this particular one, yes, I made Jesus the captain and I'm the keeper. All right. And then we have a meeting that about this objective. This objective is linked to a particular meeting, which is all very important. And you can update all these things by looking over here at these core objective core. There's a setup tab, a why tab, why are we doing it tab, goals. These are where the KPIs are in, and a description, people that are involved and what their jobs are, and resources, which I haven't gone into with this one. Okay, but that's what that, and I can make them go small or show them that type of thing here. All right, or you can hit setup and edit it here. And if you click on this meeting, it will open that meeting for you. All right. So that's what these objectives are all about. And to do them well, you should complete the objective core, just like you personally should know what your purpose, vision, values are, etc. This is somewhat similar, and it's designed for an objective. And the reason I don't have the resources in here is because this one's God's problem. I mean, I do have limited resources, and maybe I should put some in there, but that's how it will. Um, uh, I really do look at this as something God has to supply for. Okay, so now you'll see these are the task and key results for this particular objective. And there are 4 categories. Okay, there's most important, committed, begun, and backlog. The backlogs mean something you're not working on at all. It's just in the background. Committed means this is something I'm going to get done. And most important, this is the most important thing that needs done. This last column is for due and late soon. So anything that has a due date that is for this objective will show up here when they get within a certain number of days. And you can choose those days. If you go in and you edit your profile, there will be a question about how many days forward do you want to look on your task. And you can choose them. All right. Now, the ones that are brown, okay, that have a brown top, the tasks that have a brown top, they are the key results. And so remember, we have an objective and key results. Key results are something like a milestone. It's something that you want to get to, usually by a certain date. And you can add key results often have child task. All right. And you can add child task. And as you can see, we have quite a few late ones on that particular key result. I normally do not have this many late ones, but actually it helps show how things work. Okay. Now, there will be other videos showing you how to use the task. All right. But that's, if you click on one on a title, it'll bring you up some information. You click edit, you can edit it. Most of the time, if it's underlined, you can click on it and do something with it. Okay. And Like I can change the status just by clicking the status of one and I can show it. I can change the date by clicking the date, etc. But this is how things get done because these tasks may be assigned to anyone on the team, that anyone, okay? And when you do that, when they go back to see, I switched over to my personal um, a dashboard, and under my task, it's going to show all my tasks. All right. And it doesn't matter what arena they come from, what objective they come from, my task will show up here unless they're either don't have a due date and they're backlog or they're um, not due for a long, long time, then they won't show up here. But these are the things I have to focus on now. And as you can see, I need to get my crap together here, don't I? This is not my normal state. All right. But that's how these objectives work. And the idea of the OKR system is we have objectives, the big things that we want to get done. Inside those objectives, we have KPIs to measure whether they're getting done. And then we have key results, the brown things. These are the key things that we need to get to in order for our objective to keep moving forward. Key results have tasks under them. Those are the individual tasks for the key result that need to happen for the key result to be completed on time. That's the basic setup, and that's what objectives are all about. One last thing. When you create an objective and you go through this objective core part, when you do that, that will help you determine if it's a good objective or not. Remember, things have to be achievable. And sometimes objectives are more like teams, like a team. And it's conceivable that a team can have multiple objectives. Well, that's easily done because, as you can see from here, objectives can have sub-objective, can have things underneath them. Now, it doesn't show on that one. Let's go to, well, in this particular arena, it doesn't actually show either. So I'm going to actually change arenas so you can see how this works. I'll change to my personal arena. All right. And these are in alphabetical order. But when I go to my personal arena, it will bring up my personal arena's dashboard. And then you will see that if I go to the objectives there, you'll see like this one has child objectives. If I click on that, the child objectives come up, and all of these can have child objectives. The objectives can be nested as many layers deep as need be. But that's objectives. And I think if you use, well, you need to use them. You need to use them. Objectives and key results are key. All right. Thank you. I know that was a long video, but there's no simple way to explain that in 5 minutes.